everyone, welcome to the weekend edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. This is the show where we answer all of your viewer queries and of course prepare you for next week's trading day. I'm Mubina Kapasi and we have lots lined up for you in this edition of the show. First up, some stocks that we'll be discussing today. First of course is SL Propack, Nalco as well as Orian Cement. Later on the show, we'll be discussing Nenumal Bhatia's portfolio on the show. So let's bring on board our technical as well as fundamental expert, Vikas Sethi, the MD at Sethi Finma, joins us on the show, as does Rakesh Bansal, the VP at Arcape Global, on the technicals. Hello gentlemen, and thanks so much for joining us on Buy Now, Sell Now weekend. And let's get straight to the show then. First up, we have Manas Shah, who is emailing us his query. His first query is on SL Propack. Now, he says he has bought 100 shares of SL Propack, which he has purchased at a price point of 255.15 rupees per share. And now he wants to know whether he should hold, sell or add. He has a long-term time horizon of 3 years. Well, unfortunately, the stock has not done much for him in terms of return. It's just at the money, really. No significant returns for him on SL Propack. It's a 3-year time horizon. Vikas, do you like the fundamentals? Do you think that there could be upside for this stock?
Yeah, Mobina, SL Propack is a good quality stock from the packaging space. The sector looks promising, and within the sector, this stock looks relatively cheap compared to its peers. So I would recommend a hold on this stock, and I think we could see levels of 350 rupees on the stock in a year.
Okay, so you can hold on. The fundamentals look decent for SL Propack. 350 is a target that Vikas is in fact watching out for in the next 1 year. Rakesh, coming on SL Propack, it's a stock really that hasn't had much movement in the last 1 year. What would you advise him to do?
Hi, if you see the technical structure of SL Propack, then technical structure is good. Stock is continuously making higher tops, higher bottoms, although the stock has not delivered much in past 1 year. But stock is slowly moving, and I am expecting a big up move in next 1 to 1.5 year. As of now, for the short term, stock is having a good base at around 228 levels on the downside, and I don't feel stock is likely to crack levels of 228, 225 on the downside. In short term, in 3 to 4 months, I am expecting a price target of 295 to 300 on the upside. And next 1 to 1.5 year, we might see a level of 350 plus on the stock. So stock is a clear hold at current levels. Anybody who wants to buy fresh, any decline to around 230, 235 levels is an excellent buying opportunity.
Okay, so fairly bullish views coming in both on the technicals as well as on the fundamentals for SL Propack. In fact, Rakesh is advising that anyone who wants to in fact buy into this stock can in fact do so as well. Let's move on to the next query. Manas has another one, and this time it's on Nalco. He says that he has bought 1,000 shares of this stock at 42 rupees 86 paise per share. And once again, the question remains the same, hold, sell or add, and he has the same time horizon of 3 years. Well, one thing's there that he has bought the stock early on and he's been able to ride at least partly the metal wave, rather the metal rally that we have seen in the last 1 year. And the stock is doing decently well for him at 65 rupees. So he is making some good money over there. But, Vikas, let's come to you first. The question is, do you think that, now maybe the metal rally is over as we have been witnessing since the last couple of sessions?
Yeah, Mubina, the first thing is he has bought the stock at the right price. But I think over the past few trading sessions, we have been seeing some pressure on metal stocks because of the weakening metal prices across the globe. But I think since he has a long-term horizon, this stock can be held on to. It's a good company. It's a government-owned metal company, and I think this stock would do well in the next, say, 1 or 2 years. So I have a recommendation to hold the stock, and my target would be 100 rupees in a year.
Okay, and interestingly, Nalco had recently had their divestment, the OFS, of course, by the government, which was oversubscribed very heavily, probably owing to, of course, the low cost at which the government was giving the OFS. But Rakesh, coming then on the technicals for Nalco, we have seen that, the last week had seen a lot of pressure coming in on the metal space. Would you advise that he should just book his profits and go home, or hold on and be a little more patient?
Hi Mobina, if you see, I fully agree with the Vikas. The first thing, the best part is the entry price is at a right point at a right price. If he holds for 1 year, then the levels of 85 are quite possible on the upside. But I'll suggest to take profit at current levels, because if I were him, then I must have switched to Trident, Voltas or Kansai Nerolac, because if you see, this is the market where the paint stocks are doing good. I would suggest him to take profit and switch to Kansai Nerolac. Else if he wants to hold, he can hold. The levels of 85 are quite possible in next 1 to 1.5 years.
Okay, so I think both our experts are broadly bullish on Nalco. Of course, the cost price is very attractive. So, that's something that's causing our viewer to make some good money over there. Of course, Rakesh is advising that if you do want to book out your profits, you can switch to a Trident, a Voltas, or even a Kansai Nerolac. And moving on to our last query for today, Orian Cement, Manas has bought 1,000 shares of that stock and he's purchased it at 138.38 rupees per share. Should he hold, sell or add? Time horizon is 3 years, and Orian Cement, which he's purchased at 138. Well, currently, of course, the stock is trading at 169. Again, he's making some good money over there. And yes, we have seen cement stocks actually rally quite a bit in the last couple of sessions owing to the kind of spike we have seen in cement prices. Vikas, do you think that this rally is sustainable in cement?
Yeah, Mubina, first again he has bought it at the right price, and Orian Cement being a cement producer from the South India, I think it would do well because of the lot of development and construction activities going on in the twin states of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. I think cement demand is firm in the South India, and then even prices are also firm. So, and Orian Cement could be a major beneficiary of both of that, and the stock trades at a reasonable valuation. It has corrected from its highs. So, I would recommend a hold on the stock, and my target is 225 rupees on the stock in about a year.
All right, hold on. 225 is the target that Vikas is actually, pointing to. So, lots more money to be made over here. Rakesh, the technicals, do you like the chart patterns of Orian Cement?
Yeah, Mubin, I like the chart pattern of the Orian Cement. Stock is a clear hold. Any decline to around 135, 140 levels is an excellent buying opportunity. Hold, and I am of the opinion that we might see a level of 215 on the upside in next 6 to 8 months. Stock is a clear hold.
All right, a consensus hold call coming in on Orian Cement, and congratulations, Manas. Both Nalco as well as Orian Cement, you've been able to identify these stocks early on and have actually been able to ride the rally that we have seen in both of these sectors. We'll slip into a short break, but of course, when we come back, we'll be addressing Nenumal Bhatia's portfolio, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Still tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now weekend, and it's time to get on board our portfolio of the day. Today, we are going to be discussing our regular viewer, Nenumal Bhatia's portfolio. He's 70 years of age. He is retired since the last 9 years, and of course, while he was working, he was in the business of finance. Let's run you through exactly the stocks that are in his portfolio. Sudarshan Chemicals, he's bought a chunky piece of that one at 302 rupees. A small cap company, Stylum Industries, purchased at 572 rupees. And there's also logistics company, Gati, 16,200 shares of that one purchased at 189.73. Moving on, Majesco, 5,457 shares at 549 rupees. Tata Elixir as well features on the list at 1,520. Jamna Auto at 237.79 rupees per share. Then once again, small cap metal company, Kalyani Steels at 375 rupees. Another small cap company, Lycos Internet at 42 rupees. Tata Metallics, 3,500 shares of this one purchased at 524 rupees. And lastly, the last two stocks, Rashtriya Chemicals at 81.94 rupees and BF Utilities at 723.98 rupees per share. So I think most of his portfolio is dominated by a lot of mid as well as small cap names, no large cap names that are featuring on his list. So Vikas, let's start off with the first three stocks in his portfolio, Sudarshan Chemicals, Stylum Industries as well as Gati. What's your view on these three stocks?
Yeah, Mubina, as far as Sudarshan Chemical is concerned, he has bought it at the right levels. It's sitting on some profits. It's a good quality stock from the specialty chemical segment. The company has done well over the past year or so, ever since there was disruption in chemicals company in China and the companies in China, and which has led to a hike in prices of specialty chemicals, and this company has been a major beneficiary. So I would recommend that although it's sitting on profits, it should continue to hold on to the stock, and my targets are 500 rupees on the stock in about a year. Then his second pick was Stylum Industries. This company again is a good quality company and would be a major beneficiary of the government's thrust on housing and affordable housing. So I would recommend a hold even on Stylum Industries, and my targets are 800 rupees in a year. And the third stock which he has bought is Gati. Although he's bought it at a high price and it's sitting on some losses, but I think with the likely implementation of GST from July 1st, and this is a good stock, and I think if he is willing to wait for a longer period of time, I think his losses could be recovered, and I see a target of 175 rupees on this stock in about a year.
Okay, so Sudarshan, well, more money to be made over there. Stylum Industries and Gati as well are a thumbs up. Moving on, we have Majesco. He's purchased 5,400 odd shares of this one, but he's losing some money over there, so it's a bit of a pain point for him. Tata Elixir, 1,500 shares over here, and 9,000 shares of Jamna Auto at 237 rupees. Vikas, your call?
Yeah, as far as Majesco is concerned, since the sector is not performing currently, there's a lot of headwinds in the form of the H1B visa issue and the rupee also strengthening. I think he would do well to book his losses in Majesco and switch to a stock like a DHFL, which I like even after the recent run-up. I have a target of 550 rupees on DHFL. The other stock is Tata Elxsi, although from the same sector, but then I feel a bit comfortable in Tata Elxsi, and I think he could continue to hold on to Tata Elxsi, where I have a target of 1,750 rupees. And the third stock is Jamna Auto. It is a good quality auto component company trading at reasonable valuations. So I think he can continue to hold on to Jamna Auto, where my targets are 300 rupees in a year.
Okay, so while of course Majesco is a victim of the slowdown that we are seeing in the IT sector, Vikas is advising that you probably should just book your losses and move on to salvage whatever capital you have left. Tata Elxsi and Jamna Auto, however, do get a thumbs up from him. Moving on, Kalyani steals 5,700 shares of this one, which he's purchased at 375 rupees. He's making some money over there. Lycos Internet, however, that's a bit of a pain point because he's purchased it at a high price and he's purchased 46,800 shares of Lycos Internet. The stock is only, at about 6 rupees, so it's a big loss for him over there. And Tata Metallics, well, he's been able to identify it early. He's purchased 3,500 shares of this one at about 524 rupees. Vikas, your call on these three stocks?
Yeah, as far as Kalyani Steel is concerned, fundamentally good company, and with the recent announcement by the government or the recent steel policy which the government has announced, which would lead to more demand from domestic steel companies, this company also would stand to benefit. So I like the stock at the current levels, although it's sitting on profits, or he has bought it at the price which is going on currently, but I think we could see levels of 475 rupees on the stock in a year, so I would recommend a hold. Lycos Internet, it's a weak stock. I think an operator-driven stock, and I don't like the stock. And so, whatever he can take out from this stock, I think he should book his losses and take out that money. And that money could be invested in a stock like a GNFC, which I like, and the details of which I would discuss at during the later part of the show. And the third stock is Tata Metallics. He's bought it at the right price, sitting on some profits. I think the fundamentals are good, and the stock would do well. I have a target of 750 rupees on the stock in a year, so I would recommend a hold on this.
All right, Kalyani Steels and Tata Metallics get a thumbs up, but Lycos Internet, well, Vikas certainly does not like this stock, and in fact, he's advising that you should book your losses and move on to a stock like GNFC, which of course he is advising as a wealth creation idea. And lastly, Vikas, there's Rashtriya Chemicals. 12,600 shares is what he's purchased of this one at 81.94 rupees, and BF Utilities at 724 rupees, where he's losing quite a lot of money given the fact that he's purchased once again a large amount of shares in this one, 1,200 shares. Vikas, what would you advise him?
Yeah, Bombina, as far as RCF is concerned, it's a good stock. And I think fertilizer could be a sector to watch out for this financial year, because I feel there are a lot of reforms which the government might undertake to improve the health of this sector, and RCF could be one of the major beneficiaries. And furthermore, it has a huge land bank. Value unlocking could be done in the coming years. So I'm bullish on RCF. So I think he could hold on to RCF, where I have a target of 120 rupees in a year. And the final stock which he owns is BF Utilities. He's sitting on some losses, but I think it would be advisable to book his losses and get out of this stock. I do not like the stock. Fundamentals are pretty weak, and I think he could switch to a stock like a PFC, which I like, which I would discuss during the later part of the show.
All right, a hold on Rashtriya Chemicals, but of course, book your losses and move out of BF Utilities, salvage the capital you have. You can park the money in PFC. So lots of chops and changes over there, and of course it's a portfolio comprising mostly mid and small cap names, and mind you, in each of them he's purchased very large quantities. I hope we've been able to answer all of your queries, but of course do remember that the portfolio recommended here is only a model portfolio. Please do consult your individual investment advisor before making any investment decisions. We'll slip into a short break, but coming up next, we'll get you technical ideas as well as wealth creation recommendations from our experts. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. This is Buy Now, Sell Now weekend. Take a look at the markets then. Last week really was a very muted week for the markets. Of course, it was a truncated week. But yes, while on Tuesday and Wednesday, we saw a very, very quiet trading session. Thursday, we did see some pickup, but then Friday, again, we lost a lot of steam in the markets. But let's just discuss the technicals as well as the fundamentals and where we can see the Nifty moving from here on. Rakesh, over to you first. And what are some important levels that, according to you, traders must watch out for the Nifty next week?
Well, I feel for the Nifty, 9275 is a critical make or break level. If Nifty cracks 9275 levels on the downside, then we might see some momentum being lost, and we might see some market moving in a sideways. We might see some decline, another 50-70 points decline. But as of now, I feel market is not going to crack 9275 levels on the downside. The only weakness is there, particularly because of the metal space, which is looking weak, where we are witnessing the technical breakdowns. Else the technical structure is good. Banking stocks are looking good, FMCG is looking good, even IT appears to be bottoming out. So I feel one should adopt the strategy of buying on decline, and one should keep a close eye on 9275 levels on Nifty.
All right, 9275 is a strong support on the technicals, according to Rakesh. Vikas, come in then on the fundamentals. Do you think that, the rally that we have seen in the Indian markets would now halt and we would see a long period of consolidation for the markets?
Yeah, I feel after the kind of strong rally which we have witnessed over the past few months, it would be advisable to remain a bit cautious in the short term. Markets could correct a wee bit. The international news flow as far as the French elections are concerned, if the outcome comes to be negative, then we could see some more downside in our markets. And then there are always dangers of geopolitical tensions. So keeping all that in mind, I think one needs to trade a bit cautiously at this point in time. But if one has a medium to long term point of view, I'm pretty bullish on the markets. I think if the monsoons are favorable this time again, and with the likely implementation of GST from the 1st of July, I think we are headed to levels of 10,000 on the Nifty by the end of December.
Oh yes, all eyes are on the North Block as well as the rain gods, because clearly the market is waiting out for triggers coming in from both of these quarters. But what are some stocks that you could put your money in, you could bet on to be able to take advantage of, or rather in whichever way the markets move? First, Rakesh, over to you on the charts, and for investors and traders who have a short-term time horizon, what would you advise?
Like, my first call would be a buy call on Indigo. If you see, like, since listing, stock has underperformed Nifty and stock has not participated in any rally. Now I feel that underperformance is gone. We have already witnessed a big breakout on big charts above 1100 levels. I feel we are going to see a big rally. Indigo is a good buy at current levels. Place a stop loss at 1074 levels and buy for a target price of 1245 on the upside. My second call is a buy call on Voltas. Here also the technical structure is positive. We have seen a big breakout on big charts above 400 levels. Stock prices have made a good base around 401, 402 levels. I would suggest a buy on Voltas with a stop loss at 401 and buy for a target price of 470.
Okay, Indigo as well as Voltas are two buy calls coming in on the technical side of the market. But for those investors who want to look at equities as a long-term investing option, Vikas, what would be some wealth creation ideas?
Yeah, my first long-term wealth creation idea today would be GNFC. As I had discussed during the show, I feel fertilizer could be the space to watch out for in this financial year, because I think a lot of reforms would be announced by the government to improve the health of the sector. GNFC would be a major beneficiary of that. This company is the only manufacturer of TDI in India and has close to has more than 50% market share in that. And TDI prices have recently gone up after and there are talks of even anti-dumping duty being imposed on TDI imports from China, Japan and South Korea. So this company is likely to be a major beneficiary of that. To add to that, this company also has been appointed as a nodal agency by Niti Aayog to digitally transform small townships, small residential townships. So that would also again be a big positive. And this company has also undertaken a lot of expansion during the last few years, and the likely benefits of which would start accruing in the coming quarters. They've also entered into a partnership with a Belgian firm for some backward integration, which would again be pretty positive. And the best part is the valuations are very attractive. The stock trades at a pretty reasonable valuation. So I'm bullish on the stock, although the stock has gone up recently, but I think from the current levels of around 315 odd, we could see levels of 450 rupees on the stock in about a year. And my other idea would be again a public sector company. The name of the stock is Power Finance Corporation. This is a niche NBFC catering mainly to the power segment, the transmission, distribution of power. This company also has been doing well of late, and with the kind of reforms which have been announced in the power sector, I think this would continue to grow tremendously in the coming quarters. The power sector reforms would also enable the state electricity boards to do well, and once their health improves, that would be reflected in the performance of companies like REC and PFC. And finally, the valuations are also very attractive. The stock trades at just about 1.2 times its current year book value, and if you look at the price earnings multiple, it is just around 6. So I remain bullish on both PFC and REC, but I would prefer PFC from both of them. From the current levels of around 160 odd, we could see levels of 225 rupees on PFC in about a year.
Okay, GNFC as well as PFC or Power Finance Corporation are two wealth creation ideas by Vikas. But thanks a lot, gentlemen, for joining us on Buy Now, Sell Now weekend, answering our viewer queries and of course giving our viewers your top picks. With that, it's curtains down on this edition of BNSN Weekend. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you same time next week. Until then, enjoy your weekend.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/ETNow.